You're watching Truth versus Hype. Narendra Modi and his team may not yet have occupied these corridors of power, but as we shall see, he has already hit the decks running. Over the next 30 minutes, an early indication of the workings of the Modi sarkar and its possible economic priorities as he attempts to meet the high expectations set during the election campaign. India's fertilizer secretary, like many of India's top bureaucrats, on his way from his office in Shastri Bhavan to the cabinet secretariat. Bearing a response to 3 questions mailed to them by the cabinet secretary: what have you achieved, what are your goals, and somewhat controversially, what should not have happened.
What have been the achievements, what has been done in the past 5 years, and what are the important achievements, and what are the important tasks, and what are the important goals for the next 5 years. These are the 2 broad areas. Normally an incoming government, this would be a part of their familiarization process.
And they've also asked you what went wrong as well. There was one aspect of that also.
No, not really what went wrong.
But in terms of what could have been done differently?
Well, I mean, you see, everybody has his opinion. I mean, bureaucrats have their opinion. A government takes a decision taking into account so many other aspects also. So it is basically when we meet the new ministers, when we meet the new political executive, we have a lot of discussion. And this is a thing which happens in every setup,
These presentations will now be repeated before the Prime Minister after he is sworn in. The first time that a new PM will be directly interfacing with the bureaucracy. Directly dealing with bureaucrats already gives an indication of how Modi might want to run his government, much as he did in Gujarat. It might also be a downsized cabinet, the views of top officials being sought on merging ministries. For example, creating an energy ministry out of coal, power and petroleum and natural gas. Sources in the coal ministry telling us that they're averse to such a view, while the power ministry is in favor.
If you look to the 12 years of Modi as a chief minister, he has always taken bureaucrats and concerned ministers along, heard himself the new idea, has dealt with from all angles, appraised it, counter appraisal, everything done, and after due diligence he takes one presentation, asks few questions and takes a decision. And then he gives the phone number that there will be no difficulty. He is the coordinating official or the person whom you should contact in case of difficulty. If you have any further difficulty, you can contact me.
The early start is in keeping with Mr. Modi's go-getting image, as well as to match the immense expectations that BJP will fast-track crores worth of projects that were stalled by the UPA. Expectations that have already sent a spike in the market.
It's a big jump which you're seeing.
In the past few weeks, the Sensex has risen by over 500 points.
Vasu, remember one thing.
Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, one of India's biggest individual investors, told me this is no short-term jump.
What we are now started, and it started last August, when the Nifty was 5,500, is the beginning of what is, I believe, going to be the mother of all bull markets India has seen.
The mother of all bull markets. That's a very,
I reserve the right to be
strong,
wrong.
emphatic statement from you.
Absolutely.
Now,
that's my belief.
Just to clarify to those who may not know, a bull market is where there is a high level of investor confidence. Yes, there's a lot of optimism. And you see that, Rakesh?
Right, and there's a lot of participation.
And a lot of participation.
Absolutely.
The task for the Modi regime in kick-starting the economy will be marginally less daunting, ironically because of a series of last-ditch measures by the UPA at damage control. This is a meeting of the Project Monitoring Group, a high-level body set up by P. Chidambaram in June last year under the Cabinet Secretariat to resolve the inter-ministerial wrangling which had stalled mega projects worth 1,000 crores or more. As a follow-up to the meetings, the PMG's portal, open to the public, tracks the progress of project clearances, making it harder for ministries to justify unreasonable delays.
There should be no delay.
The head of the group, Anil Swarup, told me that in less than a year, they've cleared crores worth of projects.
We discovered what these reasons were and we could push the ministries to take a decision to get these clearances. consequent to which about 150 projects entailing an investment of about 5.3 lakh crores have been cleared.
150 projects have been cleared.
Yes.
As of when?
As of today.
And they are on the move? They are on the move. The UPA's feeble attempts to try and publicize these last-minute clearances were drowned in the noise of the BJP's high-decibel campaign. The new government, though, is already the beneficiary of these clearances. Nearly 38,000 megawatts of power being added to the grid in the past 9 months, an achievement that is barely registered on the public radar.
Once that decision was taken.
But as Swaroop points out, the Narendra Modi government will inherit a huge challenge.
Today we are sitting on about 438 projects.
438 projects that have been held up for years in some cases.
Yeah, in some cases for years.
And how much were these worth?
These are worth about 20 lakh crores of rupees.
20 lakh crores of projects were held up. And these were mostly in the areas of power?
Yes, primarily in power. Then there are other areas also like roads, cement, steel, a variety of projects.
And the main reason they were held up was why?
They were held primarily on account of environment and forest clearance. 42% of the issues relate to environment and forest.
But sir, tell me, isn't there a concern that you're overriding environmental concerns to fast track these projects?
None of the processes are either bypassed or overridden. We are insisting that the processes should be followed. What we insist is that a decision should be taken. There should be no delay in decision making. Nothing should be bypassed. And this has worked. Businessmen like Ajit Gulabchand, a staunch believer in Modi and who had a bitter run-in with Jairam Ramesh over his township Lavasa on the outskirts of Pune, says he hopes to an end to the days of the UPA's green activism.
Everybody else behaved as though, particularly Jairam Ramesh, Jayanti and her supporters, behaved as though they were the inventors of environment protection. And they closed down everything. The West thought of environment getting bad. They thought of environment protection, created rules, cleaned up their air, water and soil without closing down a single thing. Here we are, closed down almost half the country, closed down its entire growth rate, pitted environment against growth and achieved no environment improvement at all.
And you think the new government should change that?
100% it will change that. If it wishes to have investment, there's no way except to change that. And they will change it and make it more sensible. Change it doesn't mean they're going to throw out environment protection out of the window, but it can be implemented with grace, embedded in the way business does business.
The fact is that after Jairam Ramesh was replaced, the go, no-go distinction he had created to reduce the impact of coal mining was diluted by the UPA government itself. And it is this more relaxed environmental regime that the Modi government is likely to inherit. Some are concerned that given Mr. Modi's pro-business image as Gujarat Chief Minister, it might see the further diluting of environmental safeguards, a concern the BJP is quick to dismiss.
If you look at the way industry has been talking about environmental clearance, it has been projected as if the growth in this country has suffered just because of one reason, that is environmental clearance. And now, with the coming of this new government, we are carefully looking at what industry associations have been talking about, and again environmental clearance is at the top of their agenda. So there is obviously this major concern that there will be dilution in environmental clearance, that industry will demand less stringent system in place. They will demand quick clearances, which in many ways will mean that we will have to dismantle a lot of things that this country has put in place in the last 2 decades.
You will have to clear project because poverty is the real environmental disaster which you have to tackling, and you have to see the world practices in each case. The best practices we should follow. To that extent, environmental considerations should also definitely be taken into account. But you can still, it is not a rocket science where you have to hold a project for 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. This is absolutely not done. In 90 days, you can complete the due diligence and come to a decision. And that's what I think the government should and will do.